Are we ready? Thank you all for coming. I'm Chief Kenneth Corey, Chief of Department. Here with me today are Chief Kathleen O'Reilly, the Chief of Patrol, Assistant Chief Galen Frierson, Commanding Officer of Patrol Borough Queens North, Deputy Chief Julie Morrell, Queens Detectives, and Inspector Anthony Marino from the Force Investigation Division. I'd like to remind you that the information that I am about to provide you is preliminary and subject to change, as this incident is only a few hours old. Earlier this morning at approximately 9:48 a.m., officers from the 114th Precinct responded to a 911 call reporting an emotionally disturbed person armed with a weapon. The female 911 caller said that she had repeatedly asked the man, the father of their child, to leave the apartment and that he refused to do so. She went on to say that he had taken a lot of pills, was saying that he wanted to die, and was holding a machete in his hand. 4 uniformed officers arrived at the scene within minutes and were told that the individual inside was still armed. As the officers were trying to remove people from the apartment, the male confronted them in a narrow hallway, holding the 911 caller's mother. After getting the older woman out of the apartment, the officers deployed a taser. The taser had no effect. One officer then discharged approximately 3 rounds, striking the male in the groin area. The officers then immediately requested an ambulance, and once the subject was safely in custody, began to render aid. EMS arrived on the scene within 2 minutes and took over life-saving measures. The male was removed to Elmhurst Medical Center, where he is currently in surgery, but expected to recover. 2 officers were removed to a local hospital for medical evaluation. No one else was struck by gunfire, and no other injuries were reported. And a large machete, pictured here, was recovered at the scene. I can take a few questions now.
The girlfriend of the man who was shot claims that police asked no questions when they got there, that they just shot indiscriminately and dragged her mother, tore her shirt off. Obviously, you're telling a very different story, and that ACS is trying to take her child. And where was the child also in relation to the shooting? Because she says the child witnessed the shooting.
So I've presented to you the facts as we know them now, and as I said, they're preliminary. The Force Investigation Division is going to conduct a full, thorough, complete, and comprehensive investigation into the facts and circumstances. As would be normal in a case like this, police officers are mandated reporters, so we do have to make a notification to ACS so that they can conduct their own investigation as well.
Do you know where the child was? Was the child removed before the shooting?
The child was still inside the apartment, but where precisely the child was, I don't know.
How old was the child?
I believe it's 3 years old.
Was there any history at this address? Any other 911 calls in the past?
Yeah, so there is a rather extensive domestic history between the 911 caller and the subject. There have been multiple allegations of domestic assault, harassment. Orders of protection have been in effect. Those orders of protections have been violated on multiple occasions.
Chief, following up on this history, is it true that on April 6th, the same suspect hit a police officer on the ear, causing injury to that officer? And if that's true, given that it's not even 10 days later, why is he still on the street? What does that say?
So the subject does have a prior arrest for assaulting a police officer, and we need to look into the facts and circumstances surrounding that incident as well.
I just want to get into just a couple of seconds where the officers opened fire. You said he was holding the mother. Was he doing that with the machete, and then did he actively go at the officers and didn't know the shots being fired? Just trying to get that.
So he's holding the mother as the officers are trying to get the mother out of the apartment.
And with a machete.
That's one of the things that remain to be determined at this time. The officers had body cameras. Those body cameras were activated, and the video is being reviewed.
So at this point, we don't know for sure that he came at the officers with a machete.
Not beyond what I've said already.
There was a machete on.
There is a machete that is recovered from the scene, and the 911 caller does report that he's armed with the machete, and when the officers arrive at the location, they are told that he is still armed.
Okay, 2 more.
Well, did they see him with the machete?
The officers have not yet been spoken to, and I have not yet viewed the body camera.
Been asked about body cam. Was this in the hallway of the public hallway of the building, or a hallway in the apartment?
This was inside the apartment hallway.